ಸತ್ಯಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನರಸಿಂಹ,
ತ್ರೇತಾಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಭು ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ,
ದ್ವಾಪರ ಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣ,
ಕಲಿಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ಕಿ
ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ನವಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಂಗತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಪದವಿ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು.
That is the Chartered Accountant. A very good morning to all the esteemed dignitaries and future leaders of Chartered Accountancy. This is Mansi.
And this is Chaitanya V.
And it is our honor to be welcoming you all to the CA Students Mega Conference 2024 NAVAYUGA, hosted by Bengaluru branch of SIRC.
ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತ, ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ.
Please give yourself a huge round of applause for joining us here today and making this event more colorful and bright.
From ledgers and papers, a world so tight,
To digital solution that makes things right.
in the earlier days when numbers were slow,
Now transformed by tech where innovations grow.
once manual task, now automated with grace.
AI and blockchain leading the race.
From spreadsheets to cloud, the change is clear.
In this Navayuga where CA steer,
Advisors, not just auditors, we have come so far.
guiding through data like a shining star.
The past may have been slow with the tools of the old.
But now we embrace tech, bold and uncontrolled.
Today is all about looking ahead. The Navayuga is not just a conference theme, it's a call to action. The term Navayuga, which translates to new era, perfectly encapsulates the journey we are about to undertake. We have long been the guardians of financial integrity, the trusted advisors of businesses, government, and individuals. But now we are stepping into a new role, one of innovators, advisors, and pioneers in a world where technology and trust go hand in hand.
Today is a testament to the vision and strength of leaders who have championed the future of this profession. We are honored to have a remarkable gathering of dignitaries, experts, and thought leaders who have not only shaped the course of chartered accountancy, but continue to inspire us towards even greater achievements.
To mark the beginning of this remarkable occasion, we would like to invite our esteemed dignitaries. TC Meenakshi Sundaram, the founder and vice chairman of Chirate Ventures. K.N. Vasudeva Adiga, the founder and managing director of Pakashala and Nandi Upachar, along with
Vice Chairman of Bengaluru branch of SIRC, CA Hallur Manjunath Mahantappa, Secretary of Bengaluru branch of SIRC, CA Kavita Paramesh,
to be escorted by the chairman of Sikasa Bengaluru, CA Shripad Hulgol Narayan, and vice chairperson of Sikasa Bengaluru, Harshita KS, to grace the stage. And also John, the secretary of Sikasa Bengaluru. Please give them a huge round of applause. Good morning, sir. We welcome all the dignitaries on the dais. Please give them another huge round of applause.
Without further delay, let us introduce our distinguished guests who are leading the way into this new era. We have with us the chief guest for the day, TC Meenakshi Sundaram. TC Meenakshi Sundaram is the founder and vice chairman of Chirate Ventures India Advisors. He has 4 decades of industry experience, including 20 plus years of venture experience. He serves on the board of AgroStar, Vayana, Beepcart, Crystal.ai, Metadome, amongst others, and works closely with the board of Lenskart, where he was a board member for close to 12 years. Earlier, as part of Weldon International, he was involved with investments in Mindtree, Venture Infotech, and JobStreet. Before Chirate Ventures, TCM served as Chief Financial Officer and President, Corporate Services at Venture Infotech, a leading payment processing company in India. Before well done international, he has worked for 14 years at Wipro, where he last served as General Manager, E-Commerce Division. TCM, as he is fondly known, is a marathoner and an ardent fan of Formula One and believes that speed and agility clubbed with consistency and discipline makes a winning formula. With 2 decades of experience in the Indian VCPE ecosystem, TCM has led many initiatives to success in investments, exits, firm building, fundraising, finance, and legal, amongst others. He has led several portfolio companies to scale and to unicorn and IPO. We welcome you, sir. Please give a big round of applause for TC Meenakshi Sundaram.
We also have with us today K.N. Vasudeva Adiga, the guest of honor for the day. Shri K.N. Vasudeva Adiga is a culinary force whose impact on the vegetarian food scene cannot be overstated. With a career spanning over 3 decades, he's transformed the humble beginnings of Adigas into a vibrant Pakashala brand, now boasting 34 branches across India and a growing international presence. His dedication to authenticity, unwavering commitment to freshness, and focus on innovation have made him a beloved figure in the industry. Hailing from the coastal town of Kundapura, Shri K.N. Vasudeva Adiga is an electronics engineer from BMS College, Bengaluru. His journey began with his deep-rooted family tradition in the culinary arts. Guided by a belief that good food begins with good ingredients, Vasudeva Adiga is a hands-on leader ensuring Pakashala standards are upheld every step of the way. His vision for the future is as ambitious as it is grounded, to share the joy of authentic vegetarian cuisine with the world while never forgetting the importance of preserving culinary traditions. So with another huge round of applause, please welcome K.N. Vasudeva Adiga.
Their presence today is a testament to the significance of this conference and the bright future we are all working towards. Today, we have something special to share with you. A symbolic gesture that reflects growth, sustainability, and the beauty of nature. We will be presenting a live planter to our honored guest as a token of appreciation. We are deeply honored by the presence of these distinguished dignitaries, and we thank them once again for being here today. Their support and guidance are invaluable as we step into the NAVAYUGA, the new era of chartered accountancy. We are gathered here today for this conference, and what better way to begin than by seeking the blessings of Almighty to guide and bless us throughout this journey.
As we embark on this momentous occasion, we will begin with a powerful combination of tradition and spirituality, an invocation song, which will be sung as we light the lamp, followed by I Say Motor Song and Nada Gite. This sacred act of lighting the lamp symbolizes a triumph of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance, and the beginning of something truly extraordinary.
Now, without further ado, let's invite Raksha and Rashmi to sing the invocation song while our esteemed dignitaries will light the lamp. We request the managing committee members of Bengaluru branch of SIRC and Sikasa to join them in lighting of the lamp. Let us embrace this moment with reverence as we seek the divine blessings and set the tone for the journey ahead. Please join us in welcoming our dignitaries and Bengaluru branch of managing committee members with a warm round of applause. I request everyone to kindly stand up.
We also invite the past chairman, Srinivas sir, to light the lamp.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शितः सर्वे तदूनाद्यति कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता
स्वामी गणनाथ शरणु 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 ದೇವಾದಿಗಳ್ ವಂದಿತನಹುದೋ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಗಣನಾಥ ಶರಣು 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 ಅಖಿಲ ಭುವನದೋಳು ಪೂಜಿತ ಭಕುತ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ ಸಕಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾ ವರದಾದ ಶಕುತನ ಹೃದಯ ಪ್ರಖ್ಯಾತ ದೇವಾದಿಗಳ್ ವಂದಿತನಹುದೋ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಗಣನಾಥ ಶರಣು 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 ಶುದ್ಧ ಭೂತರ ಸಹಕಾರ ಬುದ್ಧಿಹೀನಗನ ಉದಾರ ಹೃದಯ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಗಾಗಿಯೇ ನೀ ಆಧಾರ ಸಿದ್ಧಿದಾಯಕ ವಿಘ್ನಹರ ದೇವಾದಿಗಳ್ ವಂದಿತನಹುದೋ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಗಣನಾಥ ಶರಣು 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 ಜನಕ ಮಾಡುವೆ ದೋಷನಾಶ ಅನುದಿನವೂ ಮತಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ ದಿನಮಹಿ ಪತಿಯ ಮನೋಭವ ಪೂರಿತ ದೇವಾದಿಗಳ್ ವಂದಿತನಹುದೋ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಗಣನಾಥ ಶರಣು 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 ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Thank you, Raksha and Rashmi. Now again we request the audience to kindly take up the front seats and stand up for Nadagite.
जय भारत जननीय तनु जाते जय हे कर्नाटक माते जय सुंदर नदी वनಗಳ ನಾಡೆ जय हे रस ಋಷಿಗಳ ಬೀಡೆ जय भारत जननीय तनु जाते जय हे कर्नाटक माते ಭೂದೇವಿಯ ಮಕುಟದ ನವಮಣಿಯೇ ಗಂಧದ ಚಂದದ ಹೊನ್ನಿನ ಗಣಿಯೇ ರಾಘವ ಮಧುಸೂದನರವತರಿಸಿದ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನು ಜಾತೆ ಜಯ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನು ಜಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ ಜನನಿಯ ಜೋಗುಳ ವೇದದ ಘೋಷ ಜನನಿಗೆ ಜೀವವು ನಿನ್ನಾವೇಶ ಹಸುರಿನ ಗಿರಿಗಳ ಸಾಲೆ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕೊರಳಿನ ಮಾಲೆ कपिल पतंजल गौतम जिननुत भारत जननीय तनुजाते जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते जय हे कर्नाटक माते शंकर रमनुज विद्यारण्य बसवेश्वर मध्वर दिव्यारण्य रन्न षडक्षरि पोन्न पंपल कुमिपति जन्ना कुमार व्यासर मंगल धाम कवि कोगिಲೆಗಳ पुण्य राम नानक रामानंद कबीरर भारत जननीय तनुजाते जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते जय हे कर्नाटक माते ತೈಲಪ ಹೊಯ್ಸಳರಾಡಿದ ನಾಡೆ ಗಂಕಣ ಚಕಣರ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಬೀಡೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಶರಾವತಿ ತುಂಗಾ ಕಾವೇರಿಯವರ ರಂಗ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ವಿವೇಕರ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ ಜಯ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ ಸರ್ವ ಜನಾಂಗದ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ತೋಟ ರಸಿಕರ ಕಂಗಳ ಸೆಳೆಯುವ ನೋಟ ಹಿಂದೂ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ ಪಾರಸಿಕ ಜೈನರುದ್ಯಾನ ಜನಕನ ಹೋಲುವ ದೊರೆಗಳ ಧಾಮ ಗಾಯಕ ವೈಣಿಕರ ರಾಮ ಕನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡುವ ಗೇಹ ಕನ್ನಡ ತಾಯಿಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದೇಹ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ ಜಯ ಸುಂದರ ನದಿವನಗಳ ನಾಡೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ರಸ ಋಷಿಗಳ ಬೀಡೆ ಜಯ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ.
Please welcome the man whose leadership has been instrumental in steering us into this new era. The Sikasa Bengaluru chairman, CA Shripad Hulgol Narayan sir, to give the welcome address. Please give a huge round of applause.
Happy morning. My dear dignitaries on the dais, CA TC Meenakshi Sundaram sir, KN Vasudev Adiga sir, Vice Chairman Bengaluru branch, CA Manjunath M. Hallur sir, Secretary CA Kavita Parmesh Bengaluru branch, Vice Chairperson Sikasa Bengaluru branch Harshita, Secretary Bengaluru branch John, my dear Bengaluru branch MC members and my dear Sikasa MC members and my dear young minds. Welcome you all for this wonderful and grand event, 2 days mega conference of CA students, NAVAYUGA, the new era of chartered accountants. So I would like to talk about NAVAYUGA, what is NAVAYUGA, why and how. So what is NAVAYUGA? So as the name itself says, it is the new era of chartered accountants. So now we are in that point of time where the Indian economy is booming, the businesses are growing in multifolds, and there is a global village which is happening. So that is why we, being part of this economy, the NAVAYUGA plays a very crucial role for us. And why this particular event? So if you look at the structure also, we have 2 days where it is called as Parikalpane and Parivartane. So where we will be talking about the traditional practices, traditional areas of chartered accountants, the audits, taxation will be part of the day 1, and day 2 will be part of the new areas, the new emerging areas for the CA profession. So these 2 days, I'm pretty sure that there is going to be a lot of excitement, lot of learning, lot of takeaways that you can expect from this particular event. And I'm pretty sure, as APJ Abdul Kalam always said, CAs are the partners in nation building. So which is always true, which was always true, which is true, and which will be true even 50 years or 100 years down the line. So once again, I welcome you all for this NAVAYUGA mega conference of CA students, and enjoy this wonderful 2 days event which is for the students of Chartered Accountancy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your insightful and inspiring address. Your words have truly set the stage for the rest of today's conference.
Now, to take us through the agenda for the conference, let's invite Sikasa Bengaluru Vice Chairperson Harshita, who will walk us through the exciting sessions lined up. Let's welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present the agenda for today's conference, NAVAYUGA. This conference is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you through the insightful sessions, expert discussion, and engaging activities. Day 1, Parikalpane, on 20 December 2024. Schedule for the day 1. The Parikalpane is a meaning the endless thoughts is the essence of the day 1. It celebrates the boundless ideas, meticulous planning, and thoughtful discussion that lay down the foundation for the growth and success. At 11:15 to 12:15, technical session 1, judicial representation, indirect taxation, session chaired by CA.Annapurna Kabra. Delve into the key cases and insights on the indirect taxation. 12:15 to 12:30, tea break. 12:30 to 1:30, technical session 2, moot court, direct taxation, session chaired by CA Prakash Hegde, engaging a moot court cases on the direct taxation. 1:35 to 2:30 p.m., lunch break. 2:30 to 3:30 p.m., motivational session by Rutuparna Sharma, winning the inner game, mental fitness for the limitless growth. 3:30 p.m. to 3:45 p.m., tea break. 3:45 p.m. to 5:15 p.m., technical session 3, NAVAYUGA auditors, session chairman CA Naveen, presentations on the management audits, new age technology tools, and changing the role of auditors. 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m., special session on AI by CA Amit Shanoy. Day 2, Parivartane, December 21st, 2024. Parivartane meaning transformation, captures the spirit of day 2. It represents the journey of growth, change, and personal evolution. 9:15 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. registration, 9:50 a.m. to 10 a.m. inaugural session, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. motivational session by Dr. V.B. Arathi, 11 a.m. to 11:15 tea break, 11:15 a.m. to 12:30 technical session 4 startup pulse session chaired by C.A. Chinmaya A.M. exploring the exit strategies, unit economics, and funding stages for startup. 12:30 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. special interaction session with Board of Studies, ICI. 1:15 to 2 p.m. lunch break. 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. quiz and concours competition hosted by Quiz Master Jagdish Shukla. 3 p.m. to 3:15 tea break. 3:15 to 4:30 technical session 5 exploring the uncharted areas of CA profession session chaired by CA Pramod Srihari. Topics include arbitration, CSR and ESG, and insolvency and bankruptcy code. 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. validatory session and all of fame awards. Chief guest is Raghu Gowda. 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Kalotsava, a cultural event to celebrate the performances in dance, music, and art. We encourage everyone to actively participate, learn and enjoy the session. Let's make these 2 days of memorable experience and endless ideas and personal transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshita. We are now about to hear from an individual who plays a pivotal role in guiding the course of our organization. It is my privilege to invite the Secretary of Bengaluru Branch Managing Committee, CA.Annapurna Paramesh, to deliver the address for today's event. Please welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. The dignitaries on the dais and the students. I didn't hear from the students. Good morning. All of you are awake. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for attending this conference, braving the GST deadlines what we have, and also thank all your principals for allowing you all to be here for this 2 days conference. So a big round of applause to all of you for that. NAVAYUGA, the new era of chartered accountants. So aptly named and thoughtful title for this event by our SICASA chairman, Shripad. Like the way he explained, while the Indian economy is going through a lot of change and going into a boom stage, at the same time, CA profession as such is also going through a new change with so many challenges and so many expectations from the various stakeholders across the globe. So for us, as chartered accountants, being part of this time and era is a crucial thing. And you all should be so proud that you are going to write those initial episodes of this new era. So you have to feel so proud of selecting the CA course and being part of this essential time in the history, which you will all be witnessing here. Just 2 or 3 tips from my side when you are first of all, you all have to feel proud for selecting CA course. Second is that, there are a couple of tips from my side as professionals, how you can shape and then take this advantage of this time here. First is, whatever you do as individuals, that is not reflected on you all. Whenever you act, speak, behave, it is reflecting on the profession. So therefore, be responsible for in your acts. Whatever you do, please think that there is a community behind and everybody will be looking at that community and not the individual you alone. So therefore, be responsible wherever you are and however you place and position yourself. The second tip from my side is shortcuts are short-lived. So do not adopt shortcuts. Yes, in Excel you must use shortcuts. That's when you can show your skills, but not in everywhere. So leaving Excel outside of it, do not use shortcuts. Please keep this in mind. As a fellow professional, this is what I can share with you. Third one, there are CAs and there is a CA. So that a CA makes a difference. And if you have to be that a CA, then it is what makes you a CA is your knowledge. So please focus on your knowledge, enhance, upskill, always focus on learnings because there is never ending to a learning. So make use of the learning opportunities and make, the knowledge is the only thing which makes you all different and stand out in a crowd. So take advantage of this, knowledge opportunity. And the last is that, feel proud for whatever work you do and deliver. Claim your due share of credit. Never let that. As chartered accountants, always we take a backseat when it comes to claiming what our due share of credit. Please do not do that. Take due credit of what you do and feel proud of the work what you are handling. Feel proud of you being a chartered accountant. I know you are all going to be a successful chartered accountants and best wishes to all of you. 2 days conference is going to be a lot of learning. The way the structure is designed is all keeping you in mind and keeping the future in mind. So take advantage of this. And I congratulate all of you and my hearty congratulations to Shripad SICASA chairman for putting up this grand show for all of you. Thank you and thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insights, visions which shed light on journey ahead, the responsibilities we carry, the impact we can create as a community of professionals.
We are now privileged to have with us an individual who has played a crucial role in the success and growth of our organization.
It is an honor to invite the Vice Chairman of Bengaluru Branch Managing Committee, CA.Annapurna Manjunath, to share his thoughts and vision for the future. Please give a huge round of applause.
Good morning to one and all. Good morning, esteemed guests and aspiring chartered accountants. It's an honor to be before you at this prestigious gathering of bright, driven minds. Today, you are not just students, but future leaders of financial profession. The world of accounting is ever evolving. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, global regulatory changes are reshaping our profession. But amidst this dynamic landscape, one truth remains constant: the value of integrity, perseverance, and continuous learning. Over next 2 days, you all will gain insights from industry experts, explore emerging trends, and connect with peers who share your passion. That is, I always say that network is net worth. Use the opportunity not just to learn, but question, innovate, and imagine how you can leave a mark in this profession. Remember, being a CA is more than mastering balance sheets and audits. It's about being a trusted advisor, a problem solver, and a leader in shaping ethical and sustainable business practices. I encourage you all to engage actively and ask questions and embrace every challenge as a stepping stone. Let this conference be the spark that ignites your vision and fuels your journey towards success. Thank you, CA Shripad sir, for giving me this opportunity, and I wish all of you a transformable experience ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and motivating words.
We are privileged to have with us today Shri K.N. Vasudeva Adiga, the founder and managing director of Pakashala. His visionary leadership has transformed the culinary world, redefining vegetarian cuisine by blending tradition with creativity. We are honored to hear his remarkable journey. Please join me in welcoming and offering a heartfelt round of applause. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. My apologies to all the people who are here. I have made my speech in a paper, and I'm going to read it. I'm not an orator, unlike all the people who are here. So I have made my homework at home and I have come prepared. Hope you will excuse me for this. Dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Meenakshi, Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram. He is founder and chairman of Venture Capital Fund, Chirate, and Sikasa chairman, Mr. Shripad HN, and secretary, Mr. John, vice chairman, Harshita. All these are Sikasa, Bangalore, and ICA Bangalore, vice chairman, Mr. Hallur, Ramesh Hallur, and then Kavita Parmesh, Secretary, ICIA Bangalore, and also managing committee members who are all assembled here on the dais. Namaskaram to all of you. I have come here. I don't know how to speak much about accounts or accounting because I am having a background of engineering. So I can only tell how an entrepreneur like me has traveled and how the chartered accountants have helped me parallelly in making my entrepreneurship successful in my life. So I am delighted to be here in this event, NAVAYUGA, a new era. Today, mega conference is attended by chartered accountants across South India, and it is CICASA Bangalore branch is arranged this in association with SIRC ICA Bangalore. I have been invited to address you who are all esteemed future chartered accountants of this great country. This is my privilege. I presume this has to be my privilege. Friends, I'm not a good orator, but I can share some of my experience with you as an entrepreneur. We all know famous saying, necessity is the mother of invention. In the ancient times, to get rid of darkness, man invented lamp, then incandescent lamp, then graduated to tube lights and whatnot. And to get rid of hot climate, the evolution of fan and air conditioners, and also fridge came to protect spoiling of food items, and new invention of equipments and machinery, and hence modern technology has come. Even businesses also started based on the necessity of the society, and hence parallelly accounting came into being. This is economics. Even hotel and restaurant businesses were a part of the civilization growth in cities and small towns of the country. And now food business, especially the hotel and the restaurant business, is becoming integral part of the society, and its dependency is critical for society. During the entry of pandemic Corona, during 2020-21, 2 years, all businesses and other establishments, even office works got totally shut down, and it led to new era like work from home, online delivery, and some industries actually got benefited from this, like software industry, whose cost has come down because of work from home culture. No rentals, no transportation for employees, no employee food cost, and also it led to more work time available for the employees. And all these works made possible with accounting, and without which nothing works. Proper accounting is essential for sustained business. Without proper account system, it is impossible to run big businesses and make profit, and hence the need of accounts and at every stage. Also, every stage, accountants help maintain supply and also demand gap. As an entrepreneur, one has to understand the customer requirements, liking, product line, supply and demand, etc. To start the business, we need to know the market and should understand the demography of the place and the people's spending power. For a successful restaurant business, 3 factors are important. This is what I have learned. One is the quality of the food, second is the service, and the third is the hygiene. And in order to pull the crowd, of course, rigorous marketing is required. We need to do all types of marketing, including outdoor, social media, print and media, handbill distribution, and also nowadays the new trend is using influencers, and also food bloggers and food bloggers like Krupal Amanna and Curly Tails. Also, to be a successful entrepreneur, one has to work hard. This is my mantra, you know. One has to work hard, and we have to stick on to commitments. Nothing substitutes hard work. That is, one has to note, you know. One has to inculcate discipline and work honesty. This is the success mantra. The above all qualities can be observed in distinguished personalities, celebrities, and successful entrepreneurs. To start one business, for example, a restaurant business, one has to learn the trick of the trade by working and learning in a restaurant for few years, and this applies to any other field also. Can I have water, please? Water, please. Little. The chartered accountants, thank you. The chartered accountant's role actually comes at this stage with starting from obtaining different licenses, leasing or owning the building, plant and machinery, quotations, getting ready project report, to obtain loan from financial institutions at reasonable interest, government facilities like subsidies if available, and taxation matters, investments, etc. Chartered accountant handholds entrepreneurs at all these stages with relevant papers and make the entrepreneur's job easier with their professional touch. Thanks to all of you, sir. So CAs are actually beacon light for entrepreneurs, I would say. And entrepreneur success, CA's roles are so much important. Also, one has to dream big in life in order to achieve something in life, because the dreams are the driving force behind one's achieving the success. Also, on initial days, any business, when we start, there will be a struggle. You know, one has to struggle a lot, but no problem. In the later days, it will lead fruits, okay? Like kai kesaradare bai mosaru. Thank you. Wish you all good luck and a bright future for your career. And I sincerely thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to attend this esteemed conclave. Bharat Mata ki Jai, Jai Karnataka, Namaskara.
I'll keep it.
No, I want it. I will use it. I don't want to throw and waste water.
Thank you, sir, for such inspiring words. Please give him another round of applause.
We are honored to have with us today an industry trailblazer whose strategic insights and unparalleled experience have shaped some of the most successful ventures in India. It is with great pleasure that we invite Shri T.C. Meenakshi Sundaram, founder and vice chairman of Chirate Ventures, to share his invaluable expertise. Please join us in offering a warm round of applause.
Thank you. Look, I'm not a big orator, so I'll be my natural self. Thank you, SIRC Bangalore and Sikasa Bangalore, to give me an opportunity to be in front of you all, to share some of the perspectives of what the future holds, right? And you all are in the one wish that I have today would be that I am born 40 years later, to be amongst all of you. The world is in a much better position today, and India is in a far greater position to become a world leader, and you all will be contributing to it in the journey of Viksit Bharat by 2047 to become a developed economy, and then be this. If you ask global economists and anthropologists, people are saying that this will be India's century. We are just 1/4 of it through it, and already India is 5th largest economy, 3rd largest by purchasing power, and in the next few decades, we will be the 3rd largest economy. I think in the next 5-6 years, we will be reaching 3rd largest economy, and will become 2nd largest in the next 2-3 decades. And that's a journey that has tremendous opportunities. And India is also a technology superpower in terms of one of the 3. And Bangalore is like another Silicon Valley that we see. So I will share some of my perspectives. Thank you, Mr. Adiga, for giving the initial talk. And I just want to ask you, as you are being students, and when you pass out as a chartered accountant, how many of you want to go into the professional side in the practice? Can you all raise the hand who want to go into practice? Okay. How many of you want to go into the industry? Okay. Yeah, that is more or less the same ratio that it is today in the CA industry. And, you know, I am a 2nd generation chartered accountant. Just give a quick background. My father was the first graduate in the family and a chartered accountant. And he inspired at least another dozen people in the family, in the future generations, to pursue the CA profession or degree with a decent success rate of 50%. I think it's much more than what possibly we find as pass percentage in CA. In the days, and I graduated in 1984 as a CA. At that time, the pass percentage used to be 2%. I think now it has improved a little bit to teens. It requires a lot of obsession to pass out of CA. And I don't envy you, because today the distractions that you have between social media and the OTT and all of it is significant, right? But while I started my training under my father, fairly early, it was a proprietorship firm, very small practice. And you know, I didn't want it to be another underemployment opportunity where, you know, the same practice, now what was being done by one professional is being done by 2. And this is very common in the SME world, right? So I said, okay, I will go to industry. And then, you know, I started my career, as was shared, with Wipro. And I became a venture capitalist by accident. Okay, not by choice, not by design, because by that time I was already a 15 years old and experiencing, having done different things. I started in the finance, accounts function, audit, and then moved on to the business side in Wipro. And from there I moved on to the VC industry. And it was very providential. And at that time, I didn't know what was in store for me. And that has given me an opportunity today to be part of the startup ecosystem, of which Bangalore is the highest in terms of the number of companies being started, number of, the top talent being in India. Now, I want to share with you in terms of how things have changed from the time when I joined the CA to now. That time, it was largely tax practice, and in industry, it was largely to do with accounting, right? And automation was limited to very few large companies, and rest of it was not much, right? And one of the other important thing was the accounting standards and laws and regulations were very different. It was very rudimentary standards which were there at that time. Laws were very complex, creating enough challenges to comply. But more importantly, the tax was so high, it created a challenging environment where it was, maybe CAs were contributing to this catch me if you can syndrome, right? And tax administration was face to face, and it was open to be manipulated. And from there, now fast forward 40 years, a lot has changed. Today, the profession itself, people who are in practice, are offering much more than what used to be only the accounting or auditing. Lot more services have got added. You see the Big Four, they have several divisions which are offering. And similarly, there are now Indian firms which are becoming large enough, which are offering, which have hundreds and thousands of people now in their firm and offering different services. Another very important thing was that India was very inward looking at that time. So largely businesses were domestic focused. Today, India is very globally integrated business, and also the global companies which have set their eyes on India, and also in terms of what we call as GCCs, where a substantial part of accounting and other functions of global companies are being conducted out of India by the BPOs or by the GCCs. The regulations and standards have grown significantly in terms of what you have to do, what you have to comply with. From a catch me if you can, today people are moving into very high level of compliance, and the recognition of highly governed, very well governed, highly compliant organization which is getting valued very well in the public markets has also opened the eyes of many of the traditional businesses to actually move towards better transparency, governance and all of it. And there's a role for CS to play in that. Another important thing from being just in the accounting, today the role of the finance profession, whichever form, whether you are in the practice or in industry, has become very strategic in nature. I always would say that the CFO of a company is like a co-pilot for the CEO, right? But interestingly, their role is both that of the accelerator and the brake, right? Because finance can bring a lot of discipline in the business. In fact, I heard that there is a very interesting technical session about unit economics and other activities with respect to startups. And that's the most important thing, where whatever product or a service that is delivered by a business, is it actually being done in a very profitable way? Is it being done in a very capital efficient way? Can only be identified by the finance profession and the mirror shown to the CEO and the other business people. And that's a very important role that one can play, and if that discipline is not followed, very quickly the business gets into existential risk, and many of them actually shut down. Many SMEs are not able to actually grow because they don't follow this discipline, where finance can play a very important role. At the same time, where there are certain activities of business which are doing well, those are places where the finance profession has to say, let us put more money behind it. There is a better return on capital employed, and so you should be able to get more out of that, right? And see the way regulations have also changed, the technology. India's tech has made a lot of things automated. There was a time we used to face a challenge of going and standing in queue for a lot of things, whether it is Aadhaar, which is taking care of identification, or the banking, the UPI, world has been brought within our mobile phone, right? We don't have to go out much. And tech is eating the world, and that is exactly the reason why we exist as a venture capitalist. So we back very early stage companies. But one of the things that I want to tell you as you pass out is that you will find that syllabus always takes time to catch up with the realities of the world, right? And you need to find ways in which you can actually equip yourself as you pass out to what is today. And, you know, I heard the terminologies of AI and the blockchain and other things. And today, when you talk about it, there was, you know, just to give you a little perspective of how world has changed, where India is contributing. India used to provide IT services for a lot of global organizations. That was based on the manpower, right? So from somewhere around the early 2000s or late 90s, it started, where from towards end of 2000s, we moved into the new bandwagon called software as a service, right? So where there is a non-linearity which comes in, there's no linearity. It is your revenue or profitability is not based on, let's say, the number of people you have in the organization. It is based on the knowledge that has been put into the software to deliver what the customer wants. And today, with the AA coming in, you will find a lot of activities which are routine, which are rule-based, and actually not even rule-based, being taken over by AI. So there is this new concept called agentic AI, where this agentic AI, today bills will get passed without human intervention. There is a company of ours which is helping global companies to do their logistics, all the logistics bill passing to be done by AI. So there are no people involved in it, right? Similarly, you will find credit underwriting, where most of the time in lending, CAs who went into banking sector would be the ones who will be part of the credit underwriting and then sanctioning. That is completely now being done by AI. It's one of our companies which does 1,000 crores of lending in India to unsecured lending, by the way, to consumers. Writes more than 2 lakh loans every month, has less than 3% of the loans being seen by anybody called a credit officer, because those are exceptions that are thrown out. All the rest is completely done by AI. This is the world you are getting into. So you need to be able to look at that, and there are two ways to look at it. One is to look at it from the point of view saying that, hey, is it going to take away my jobs, right? Or to look at it saying that, just like all the previous technologies, this is a tool that is in my hand. And how am I going to get the best use of it? Today, even in AI, the person who asks the type of questions can get the right type of answers. And so when you're going in for an audit, or when you are in the finance function in a company, you will have to look at saying that how you can use AI to make yourself more productive. What's the benefit of that? The mundane work gets done by AI, and you can use your brain power, your imagination, your creativity into doing better things, which can contribute significantly to the organization and to the society. And this is something that you will find happening faster and faster, right? The half-life of any technology is coming down so fast. So what started, we all came to know about OpenAI just 2 years ago, but this movement, the technology research and initiative started maybe about 10, 12 years ago. But once it reached a critical point, then the J curve in the growth of this technology and its adoption, today we can do a lot of things. Today, assignments are being done by people using Gen AI, where automatically they are being actually complete things are written. In fact, in that enthusiasm to try, in fact, I asked OpenAI for writing a poem about Indian startup ecosystem, and that was written in less than 60 seconds. It took longer for me to write the query than it was able to print out the poem. It was about 8 stanzas, and it's been published in my LinkedIn profile also. So that is how the world is moving. The pace is moving so fast, you need to be at pace with it. Otherwise, we'll get left behind. But the role that CAs, and now what used to be only what we will look at it as accounting or audit profession, has now gone on to the BFSI industry, into public markets, into investment management. I am a standing example for you all to say that, look, one can get into investment management. All of these are opportunities that come out, right? And the internationalization, both as internationalization of workforce, Indian MNCs going out, that creates a very interesting learning opportunity. This is something that you'll be able to definitely look at it, and that is the new era that you should be looking for. And a few things that I would like to share with you as you look at it. One of the learnings that I had in the first year when I joined industry, and my peer group was a lot of MBAs, and there is always this competition or, commentary of, let's say, CAs versus MBAs. And I always used to saying that one is form and another is substance. And you know what? Who contributes the substance? Who contributes the substance? Is there any doubt? I'm not getting any answers. The CAs contribute the substance, right? But they have to learn to actually have the form to be able to present. That is something that you all have to build as a capability. Many of the times CAs remain in the background, right? You have to come to the forefront, you have to come into the spotlight to be able to contribute. While you contribute, most times it is not even recognizable, right? It is taken as part of the fabric of that you have to do, right? Like I said, the technology is going to dramatically change from now, and people are talking about general AI, which is not rule-based. It's almost hitting the human levels of intelligence. And the world is talking about, how humans are going to even cope with that, right? Are machines going to get smarter than humans? Then what would happen to human race? These are questions to be addressed by others. But you need to upgrade yourself literally every 2 or 3 years, right? And as being students, and many of you would be in this journey, I think one of the things that I would say is that unlike, an engineering graduation or a MBA graduation where entry is highly restricted, few lakhs of people write the entrance exam and few thousands get into it. So the pass percentage there is 90, 98, 100%, where exit is guaranteed and then a success on entry, a success is guaranteed when you come out. In CA, it is the reverse, where entry is not so much restricted. Now at least one has to do the foundation course or entrance and other things to get in. But only 1/5 of the people will come out successful. This requires a level of obsession where you just have to focus on it. Amidst all the distractions that you have, to first emerge as a successful chartered accountant and then upgrade yourself to contribute. And while we are getting into this, compliance is growing. There are new things which are coming up, like carbon accounting, the ESG, and so many other things to keep yourself updated about even the standards that are coming up is going to be a challenge. It's fairly complex. Internationalization adds to it. And I think, but considering the fact that you all are going to be part of India's journey from, let's say, 4 trillion to 50 trillion, I don't think too many countries have had this opportunity, or too many of the younger generation had this opportunity of a 10x growth in your lifetime, where you will be able to contribute and also reap the benefits of that. And with that, I want to close my talk. If there is time, I can take questions, otherwise we can. Maybe 1 or 2 questions.
Hello. Hi, sir. Sir, here, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, my name is Arjun. This is a little out of topic, but us CAs, we can also go into entrepreneurship, and also we can form startups as well. So from your experience, seeing a lot of startups, what advice would you give to us aspiring CAs to develop a sustainable business model? And also, what are the traits that you see from a very good startup from your side?
No, that's a very good question. You know, there's a big difference between being an employee or an entrepreneur. Being an employee is 8 by 25, 8 hours a day and 25 days a month. Being an entrepreneur is 25 hours a day and 8 days a week. One needs that is never, it's a ever changing thing. That is something that you have to be very clear, and you need to solve for a very big problem. If you are want to become an entrepreneur, try to focus on something that solves a big problem in a very differentiated way. The Me Too's will remain common. The differentiated companies are the ones which create significant value. So if you want to get into entrepreneurship, but today I would also say that those who do not adopt technology and AI will not exist 10 years from now, in whichever part of the business, industry, government, or personal life, right? So whatever startup that somebody wants to do needs to have very, very significant moat with technology and use of AI. Another important thing, very rarely entrepreneurship is a single person's creation. Entrepreneurship, the way we look at it when we evaluate companies, we look at least there has to be very strong technology person, very strong business person, and very strong marketing person, right? And this, out of these 3, at least 2 of them should exist. So if you are starting up, you need to get co-founders who will be with you through the ups and downs. While it is very glamorous to start up and very glamorous to also get funded, actually it's a very, very challenging roller coaster when you are in front of the customer, when you are in front of the market, and you get evaluated on a daily basis. And they vote with the dollars or rupees in terms of whether they choose to take your product or service from you or from your competition. And you need to obsess about your customers and customer satisfaction, right? That is another very important thing. And the days of actually having a few founders or a few promoters who own the full business are also gone, right? This is the world where people do share. So if you see most of the startups which have become extremely successful, the founder ownership will be somewhere in from single digits to at best in teens. It is not in the traditional way of 50% and 75%. So you also learn to attract the best talent with stock options, where you create a lot more successful and wealthy individuals. That will be my suggestion to anybody who wants to start an entrepreneurship. One more. Okay. I believe we are way out of time. So thank you for the opportunity, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring journey and for sharing your remarkable insights.
E-Souvenir is not just a collection of memories, but a celebration of all that this conference represents, our theme, our achievements, and our shared vision for the future. It is accessible at the click of a button.
And now, to mark this special occasion, we invite all the dignitaries to kindly step forward and press the button to officially launch the e-souvenir. Ladies and gentlemen, let's count down together. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's give a big round of applause for this fantastic unveiling. Isn't it stunning?
As a token of our heartfelt gratitude, we would like to honor our esteemed guests on dais for gracing this occasion with their presence and valuable contributions.
We request members of Sikasa Bengaluru branch to present token of gratitude to TC Meenakshi Sundaram and to KN Vasudev Adiga. Let us all join in with a big round of applause as we extend our thanks to these distinguished dignitaries. We call Bengaluru Managing Committee as well.
We also thank KVD Madhukumar for presenting this beautiful live painting to our esteemed dignitaries. Please keep the applause coming.
Dignitaries for their presence today. Now, we request the Secretary of SICASA Bengaluru branch, John Frederick D'Souza, to give vote of thanks for the session.
When I stand here to deliver the vote of thanks, the only line that comes to my mind is that gratitude is a wholesome emotion, and two words, thank you, is not enough to express it. So today I stand here and I am very privileged to thank all the dignitaries and the students. I would like to thank the two stars of this session, Shri C.A.T.C. Meenakshi Sundaram sir, for sharing your experience as a chartered accountant and a venture capitalist. Thank you so much, sir. I extend my deepest gratitude to Shri K.N. Vasudeva Adiga. Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom and your experience. I would like to thank SICASA Chairman of Bengaluru branch, CA Shripad sir, for welcoming the gathering. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank CA Kavita Paramesh, Secretary of Bengaluru branch, for enlightening us with tips and ideas as students. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to thank CA Manjunath sir for your words of inspiration and motivation. Thank you so much, sir. I would also extend my gratitude to Harshita, the Vice Chairperson of SICASA Bengaluru, for presenting the agenda of the two-day mega conference. I would also like to extend my deepest gratitude to the MC members of Bengaluru branch and the past chairman and all the ex officio of Bengaluru branch for joining and gracing us in this event. Thank you so much, everyone. And also the small stars of the event, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for making it to this event. Give a huge round of applause, and I again thank all the students for attending this event. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John, and we request the dignitaries to kindly take their seats among the audience. Please give them a huge round of applause.
Until then, this is Chaitanya V.
And this is Mansi signing off.
We thank you for your attention and participation. And we look forward to the exciting discussions ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
It cannot be divided among the brothers. The wealth of knowledge is the most superior wealth of all. A very good morning to one and all present here. Now it's time to start the first technical session of NAVAYUGA 2024. So with full on energy, are you guys ready? Once more, are you guys ready?
So, the first session is judicial representation of indirect taxes. Now I know, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್? ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಜಗಳ ಆಡೋದು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಾ? ನೋ. It is the process where a taxpayer, like a business or an individual, will appoint an authorized representative, for example, a lawyer, a chartered accountant, or a tax consultant, to represent them in legal matters related to indirect taxes. This representation typically takes place before tax authorities or courts. For example, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ನಿ GST ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಫೈಲಿಂಗ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇರ್ರೆಗ್ಯುಲಾರಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ಫೌಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸಮನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಗ ಆ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ CAನ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ CA ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಮುಂದೆ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದೇ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್.
So now that we have settled that, why waste time? Let us get right into the session now.
I request our respected Vice Chairman of CICASA to escort our beloved guest on the dais.
This session more fruitful and knowledgeable, we are privileged to have with us CA.Annapurna Kabra, a renowned expert in the field of indirect taxes. Annapurna Kabra, a chartered accountant, completed her articleship at Rajkumar Hanchal and Co. Gulbarga and holds DISA and DIRM qualifications. She has authored articles and co-authored books on VAT, GST and indirect taxation for various ICAI and professional journals.
She is a faculty member for ICAI's GST certification course, a contributor to study materials for the Karnataka State GST officers, and a regular instructor at the Fiscal Policy Institute. Annapurna Ma'am is also the co-chairperson of FKCCI's State Taxes and GST Committee. She practices as the proprietor of Annapurna and Associates in Bengaluru.
We are very honored to have you here with us today, ma'am. Without further ado, let's start the first case. So we call upon Arun and Sangeeta to present the first case. A big round of applause for Arun and Sangeeta.
Good morning to all the young members of this ICI. First of all, I thank Bangalore branch of SIRC and, Bangalore branch of ICI and Bangalore branch of CICASA. It's very privileged to be a part of this session. And I've been given a very important role of this, taking a session chairman on the topic of indirect taxation. I have been practicing from last 20 years. I never had any experience on this during my articleship, and I did not have any experience of this indirect taxation for first 10 years of my practice. Few of the clients made me to get into this practice, and it has become so passionate that I have been able to give few contributions to ICI in the form of books, in the form of articles, and in the form of training. When I am with you all, I have been gone to 20 years back of my life, and I know how is the life of the student, the struggling time with all your articleships, with all your examinations, and with all your other challenges. But as soon as you are keeping your spirit and your passion alive, I think we can reach your goal either within 10 years, 20 years, or within a very short span of time. But the spirit should be on either before the CA or after the CA. And even today, I call myself as CA student. Though the people introduce me as an expert of some taxation, but I still believe I'm still a CA student, because every day is a learning day for all of us, and every day is an experience. Why we have chosen this topic? Because many of us are very good in academic. Many of us are very good in technical knowledge. but many of us fail in representation skills. I have seen in the office, lot of students are very good in technicality, but they fail how to represent. There are certain skills which a person should persist along with the technical knowledge. So now coming to this law, which has been, I think this is a topic of NAVAYUGA. I can tell you it is a Nava law. It is a Nava taxation. That is nothing but the GST. It is still a small baby, I can say, because it is only the 7 years child. It has been introduced on 1st July 2017 by merging lot of erstwhile laws. And we are able to see that more than 2,000 amendments are taken place in last 7 years. Lot of litigations are around either before the High Court, Supreme Court, or before the appellate authorities. From last 7 years, still the tribunal is not yet constituted. Already the schemes are amnesty schemes are on, but still the tribunal is not yet constituted. So I still call this law as an evolving law. And today we have designed this course. We have another 1 hour with all of us. And we have divided into 3 segments because the topic is judicial representation. And this law is governed by the state law as well as the central law. With the introduction of this law, there are a lot of amendments through constitutional by amending the Constitutional Amendment Act, which has been introduced on September 16, 2016. This law has segmented into machinery provisions and administrative provisions. So today we are going to stress more on the administrative provisions rather than on technical provisions. And third very important thing is a person should have a content of knowledge. He should have the representation skills. Then only he will be the successful practicing person, especially in the case of taxation. Any kind of taxation, whether it is indirect taxation, direct taxation, or anything. Until you don't have the experience of that, I think you may not be able to reach the purpose of representation. So I just made a small, very easy presentation, I can say, because I don't want to take much time. I'll just take 5 minutes to give you some tips of representation. So can you just change the slide, next slide. Very important is, administration is very important for any tax law. This tax administrations involve the central law as well as the state law. Centers shall levy and administer Central GST Act and IGST Act, and state shall levy and administer state GST or UT GST. There are various authorities who have been appointed under the special notifications, under the special sections of the law, that is Section 3, Section 4 of the GST Act, where they have appointed different type of authorities like commissioners, additional commissioners, audit officers, investigation officers, and appellate officers. So there are revisionary authorities. So there are various kind of authorities who have been appointed and who have been given the scope of their powers which has to be enforced under the GST law. So today our session is segmented into 3 types. One will be the audit, the other will be the investigation, and the third will be your, I think it is on the e-way bill. Next. One very important thing is, in erstwhile law, we used to do a lot of manual filing for our replies, but today, with the introduction of GSTN portal, lot of our replies are given online. So very important is when you are going to upload your documents with the reply, see that it should be self-explanatory. It gives all the informations which are required for the representation. In addition to your online filing, it is also very important to see that whenever you're going to physically represent the case, you substantiate the documents and evidence. Whenever you're going for the representation, I've seen few of the experience. Students just go with a small notice. They don't carry the file. Not students, even a lot of our professionals. We just go casually without much preparations on the case. So I always believe that as a checklist, we should see that whenever we are looking into this, just can you go to the previous slide? We have to have a copy of letter of personal hearing, like if there is a date which has been given for hearing, that copy should be there along with that, copy of notices, copy of reply to your notices, copies of relied upon documents, copy of your summary notes and submissions, new case laws, act notification circulars, power of attorney, visiting card. Many times, even your visiting card is been asked by the respective authority to know from which office you have come and for which case you have come, and your attire is also very important. So there are certain few tips, few things you should know before you are going for the representations. Next. Always when you are representing before the officer, be prepared with the case. Don't be half-baked, don't carry that half-baked information. Read the case, read the facts, read the submissions, read the evidence so that we are very confident when you are representing the case before the officers. And don't try to jump to the conclusions when you are reaching to the officer. Try to request for them, should I summarize the case? Because the officers will be handling many of the cases, so you should just take a plea to say that whether I have to explain the case in brief for better submissions. Just try to see when you have received it, try to understand whether you are going to fight this case on the jurisdiction or whether you are going to file the case on merit. So that you have to be very clear before representation before the authority. And if you have got any favorable order in the previous orders or in the previous regime, even that copy also you can carry so that it makes your case little simple and it gives a kind of satisfaction to the officer also to make them understand. Many times we have to upgrade the proper officers, we have to update them with the latest case laws also in many instances. So see that even you do that, you carry when you're going for representation. Next. And last, what I can say is, you can just try to go on the merits. I will not go. I think you can see the practical demo of all this. Next. And whenever you're going for the personal hearing, try to see that you carry the copy of that personal hearing whenever you're representing before the authority. Many times we just give the hearing and we come back to our office. Try to have an evidence, and what you have stated personally, it will be recorded in writing. So please carry the copy of that whenever you are representing before the authority. Next. And the last point is, be within the scheduled time for hearing. I've seen, I don't know, you might be also experiencing that many times they give the hearing after 11 o'clock. So we try to see that, okay, we can go post-lunch, we can go by 5 o'clock. Try to see that if they have given the time within 11 to 12 or somewhere, try to reach before 11 so that many times you can be a first person to take a hearing, because some hearings will take number of hours and you might have to waste your time. So try to be within the time and try to follow the disciplines. Adjournments well before the hearing. If the hearing is given on 20th December, try to give that. If you want to postpone the meeting, don't give that adjournment on the date of your hearing. Try to give 1 or 2 days before so that it is convenient for the representations. You should be well prepared. That is very important. That is what I think we have to look into that. Confident. I think 80% you will win your case with the confidence. When you're going to represent before the officer, and if you are very confident on your case, if you are having a dominance on your knowledge, and if you are very confident, yes, sir, this is what it should be allowed. Yes, sir, this is what the law is. Yes, sir, this is what the case law. When you have that confidence level, I think that itself will give you the, what I can say, the favorable judgment, or it can bring out some positiveness in that judgment, in that case. So you have to be well confident when you're present. You just don't be just, oh, yes, sir, I will just check that section. Yes, sir, I will check that case law. Don't be that. Just be prepared and be confident when you're preparing. Be crisp in submissions. Many times I have seen that you bring 60 pages submissions and the officer is lost by the time he's reading. So along with that 60 pages, try to bring some summary of your submission so that within the short time of time, they can understand what is the issue and what should be what is the law, what is the crux of that submission. I think that will help out for to save the time and to get into the point directly. Do not ridicule the order or SCN. Don't try to shout on that order or notice when you are pleading before the officer. Whatever the notice is, whatever the order is, try to see how you can reframe it. It should be communicated, but it should be communicated in a proper manner. Do not interrupt during the hearings with the officers. We have seen many times, some officer will want to state something, we try to interrupt to him. That practice I think we should avoid. We should try to listen him completely. We should try to understand what he wants to communicate, and then we have to try to give our submissions. And many times, when we realize that we have made a mistake, try to accept it. Take steps to rectify. During your submissions, there is a possibility that you have made mistakes in your numbers, you have made mistakes in your reference of cases, sections, whatever it is. Try to see that, yes, sir, I will just rectify it and try to do the corrections in the submission. So I think that will be really ease your representation. And last, I can just say that try your best for your representations, and I think this is one of the very important part in your governing this administrative provisions of the law. And with this, let us see the next three sessions, or next three case studies. One will be on investigation, and the second will be on audit, and third will be on your e-way bill cases. So all the best, team. Let us see on. I hand over to the team. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable suggestions. Now I call upon Arun and Sangeeta to present their first case. A big round of applause for Arun and Sangeeta.
Check.
Very greetings to everyone present here. Good morning, all encharted young minds here. This is Arun Prasad and
Sangeeta.
we will be presenting a paper presentation on investigative notices, a case study analysis. So here we go. We have lined up with so many things set up for you guys. And for the beginning, right now, we start with goods and services tax. As you all might know, GST is a consumption-based tax applied on all supply of goods and services. And yeah, let's get started into the technical part of it. Section 67, which is again subdivided into two parts, one as being the subsection 1, the authority to inspect, and the subsection 2, search and seizure. Authority to inspect, a proper officer being not being a rank below of a joint commissioner, whomsoever wants and believes himself that there are reasons that he could inspect the following books of accounts, goods, stock and trade, or any other documents as he finds himself suspected. So this gives him an authority to inspect at any point in time at a place of business or at the place of residence of the business entity. And here we go, the next part, the subsection 2 has search and seizure. So as we say apart, search and seizure is the same place where the proper officer again deems himself, if required, to confiscate the goods, documents, or books, or any other supporting documents that they have whenever they feel like it is subject to be confiscated for further proceedings in the SSE. And yeah, here we have, whenever the goods are confiscated, whenever it's been seized by them, a list has been prepared and been given to the SSE as well as to the department as well. And as we have an SSE, whenever they are seizing the goods, they are not supposed to retain it for more than a period that has been stated as per the Act, which is again 30 days from the date of notice, as they are not supposed to retain it. But apart from that, any seizable precocious or hazardous goods has been seized that has to be disposed of immediately.
So moving on, we move to the rules that are related to inspection. The first rule that we are talking about is 139. Under Rule 139, we have three major forms, INS 1, INS 2, and INS 3. INS 1 talks about whenever the Joint Commissioner is authorizing, the Assistant Commissioner or a rank higher from him, so he will issue an INS form authorizing him for the initiation of investigation. Moving on, INS 2. INS 2 is an order of seizure. Whenever the authorized officer wants to seize any goods, he should have the authorization under INS 2. And the INS 3, which talks about prohibition of certain goods. Whenever the officer is not able to, confiscate or seize goods, he will do it with the form called INS 3. And we have other two INS forms also, INS 4 and INS 5 to mention.
Yeah, here we move upon the basic stage called reverse charge mechanism. As you all know, whenever the goods are being supplied and it is being subject to tax, the supplier pays the GST. But here in case the recipient pays GST and so ITC is not available, and whomsoever is claiming RCM has to be supposed to be registered mandatorily under the GST Act. And there are two types of GST reverse charge mechanism, as you call. It depends on the nature of supply as well as the nature of supplier.
Moving ahead, the case analysis that we are going to do today is the assessee being the blissful hall's owner and the assistant commissioner. So on the one hand, Blissful Halls, who is, the very regular compliant of all the GST turnovers, all the returns and everything, they are all perfect in their filings. The other hand, the assistant commissioner wants to investigate this Blissful Halls, and they have, on the day of inspection, they had seized a few documents and the searches. So this will be the case for discussion today.
Limited?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this is me, the Chief Commissioner of GST Department, and we have come for the inspection right here.
Inspection?
Yeah,
By the way, for
inspection.
what? I'm confused.
So inspection of books of accounts and other further documents, because we do have certain things to be checked, and we have certain GST liabilities also to be levied
Oh
upon.
God, I think I'm in a problem right now. How do I even believe that you are from GST department?
Well, ma'am, I do have the INS 1 which has been authorized for me to, conduct an inspection here, by the way.
Okay, can I just have a look on this?
Sure, ma'am.
Oh God, I see this is the form called INS 1 where he has given the authorization for inspection. I'm in a big trouble now. Let's move.
Well, ma'am, can you just show me certain books pertaining to assessment year 23-24 right now?
Sure, sir. I'll just get few documents. Do you want any coffee or tea? Maybe biscuits?
No, ma'am.
Samosa?
I am not into that.
Okay, all right.
Well, do you have the bank statements as well included in this?
I'll arrange for that.
Okay. You don't have to arrange, ma'am. Just get me whatever
Yeah,
is
yeah,
there.
I'll get the documents.
This is what happens in reality as well. Arranging, it seems. Well, ma'am, I do have a certain doubt with this thing. Why is that everywhere 1,50,000 is charged, but when in the cash receipts only 1 lakh is being charged? Can you please check it?
Okay.
It has been multiple transactions repeated for the whole year, I guess.
Well, I have to check on this, sir, because the accountant does all the job. So I think I'll have to check on this.
All right, ma'am. So we will give you a certain time limit, and you do have to come to our office in order to respond the same.
Sure, I'll do.
Thank you. Also, ma'am, can you just open me this lockers as well, because I do have certain things to check.
But sir, the employer is on leave today, so I don't have the keys with me right now.
Ma'am, well, I can also break it open according to the search and seizure rules. If you do want me, I can show some actions here.
No, I'll just get the spare key with you.
Okay.
Here goes.
Ma'am, may I know what is this cash receipts and how is that different from this book?
Well, what does this say then?
Oh my God. You do have transactions till date, ma'am. And it also has for the past 2 years. All right, ma'am. I would be requiring to further look at it, and I will be confiscating this and along with these documents as well. Do let me know once after the notice comes, and you do have to visit to my office, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, I'll. The investigation scene ends here. Moving on. You go be seated. May I come in, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you know me.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome. Here you go. We always give chocolates to all.
No thanks on that.
So, ma'am, Did you bring up the documents that has been mentioned in the notice?
Yeah, I have
The
brought a-
respective urges for the same?
Right, right. I have the few documents with me. So here you go.
Thank you. All right. So, ma'am, I wanted certain clarifications on the same. As you see here, there were different entries in the diary wherein like cash receipts were 1,50,000, and in every bank ledgers it was only 1 lakh which has been credited to your account. So may I know why only 1 lakh has been credited and the same has been recorded into the accounts, and when you have actually received 1,50,000, and so that is not only the case. It has been like 51 entries of the same, because in every bookings, for every marriage hall bookings, you have taken 50,000 as a base, and calculated upon it has led to 25 lakhs of season. And so if you see, it comes around 4,50,000 as the GST liability. Could you please explain on the same, ma'am?
Oh, well, that's a huge amount. I don't think like 50,000 would contribute to so much. See, using the diary that you had confiscated, there were only entries from January to June. How did you come up with from April? You did not have a complete information on the financial year, right? See, from April 23, it ends at March, and you did not have the complete information. And this amount you are telling is very huge.
Well, ma'am, you do have to realize that it's not only one annum basis, because it's not per annum basis, but rather it's just the 3 months which is revealing up to this much details. So when you just extrapolate it to the next 9 months, we would be having more than 4,50,000. If you still want to end up in trouble, I would require you to produce those documents as well, ma'am.
But sir, you know what happens? This is our business. We do the same thing there. What we do is we collect 1,50,000. 1 lakh is deposited, and that is paid tax over there, and that is all very clean. The 50,000 that you are talking about, no, that is only the security deposits, and these deposits, act as liability or repairs or anything like that, and we use it for that. When the customer leaves, we also refund that amount. So which does not,
See,
it does
ma'am,
not.
we don't care about all this. If you are getting money, GST is liable on that, and GST is hence levied on that.
See, sir,
so
but-
it has to be 1,50,000 and not 1 lakh.
Well, sir, but the security deposits will not be considered as consideration also under GST Act. It cannot be considered as also even the advances, right? So.
Sorry, ma'am, this won't be taken into account, and this notice reply won't be passed. But well, we do observe certain other things as well. If you just check through the other cash deposits and your bank ledger shows around 2.75 CR as the sales being declared. But when you just compare the same to cash transactions, it is just about 4 CR. And this is what happens in reality as well, guys. See, look, there is a difference of 1.2 CR, but when you just cumulate it to the average GST that is payable, the accumulated GST is around 22 lakhs on the same, because the difference is almost 75 lakhs. Hence, ma'am, I would also like to get certain clarities on the same, and if in case you do have any reconciliation, as you guys always do, please provide the same.
But, sir, I have an explanation for that. You know what happened? We were in the process of renovating that time. So the partners had deposited amounts. We had also taken some unsecured loans. That is the deposits that you're talking about.
Well, ma'am, that has to be accounted.
Might be. Okay.
Might be. Also, ma'am, I do observed there was a particular transaction in it wherein you guys have paid it to an advocate for amounting to 5 lakhs, which is again claimed as a professional fees. But that is supposed to be a legal fees, and so RCM has to be charged on it. And you guys are supposed to pay GST on the same, ma'am.
Okay, but sir, I think this is a mistake done by my accountant. He was a little creative, in putting the account heads. So might be that is a mistake, but we did not, intend to remit, or we did not, we had the intention to not paying RCM on that. No, we did not have that.
Ma'am,
That's
your
the-
creativity doesn't matter here, because all we need is RCM has to be levied by the recipient, and so legal charges being paid to a senior advocate comes under the reverse charge mechanism, and hence GST is liable on the same, ma'am, and hence
right.
GST is liable on the amount of 5 lakhs.
Yes, so yeah, I do understand the transaction. See, what happened was, we had the senior executive, that is the senior advocate, he had billed us 5 lakhs. All right, so wherein the accountant had, wrongly entered, and we did not pay RCM on that. But I do realize now, I think he is an person, you know, he's not liable for GST registration itself. So why do I have to pay GST on that, and that too on RCM basis?
All right, ma'am, you tell me one thing. Even the audience are hearing this. A senior advocate who has charged almost 5 lakh to only a certain client is not registered under GST, which means he is not crossing the threshold limit of the least minimum of 20 lakhs. And you are almost 25% of that threshold limit. And how do you even justify that the senior advocate is not, you know, liable for registration? Hence, I need a declaration for the same, and you do have to provide the
Okay, I'll arrange for the declaration then. It'll cost.
declaration has to be stated by the senior advocate and not you, ma'am.
Right, right.
Well, yeah, I do have to look into certain things. I guess I will be retaining these documents, but the confiscated diary, as I have already led through the same, I will be handing over to you, ma'am. I have not read the other pages. Hope the other pages doesn't make, you know, lead to other notices as well. Please be careful, ma'am.
Okay, but sir, I have stopped writing my personal diary also then. Bye.
Uh,
25 lakh as a taxable income for all the bank discrepancies, and the taxpayer's detailed documentation should be verified. And also, if the advocate's exemption declaration is true, it also has to be verified. And if it is legitimate, no GST is liable under RCM, as well as the total liability for the period includes tax, penalty, interest, which amounts to almost 35 lakhs 89,600. These proceedings were concluded by moving on to Section 74 of the CGST Act 2017, which will be stated in next Navayuga 2025. With that, we will be thanking you for your time. This is Arun Prasad and
Sangeeta
signing off. Thank you.
Amazing presentation by Arun and Sangeeta. I think last 3 years, we were working on this case study, and I think they have done a wonderful job. Only 2 things I would like to add here is, when he has come as an investigating officer, he cannot be a principal chief commissioner. He will be the officer who will be appointed by the joint commissioner. This is one thing we have to know that. And second thing is, it is not as smooth as it was going on here, the way it was going on, but they have made a very good presentation on this. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Arun and Sangeeta, for the wonderful session.
Now I call upon Satvik and Arman to take up the case too. A big round of applause for Satvik and Arman.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Arman Sharif.
I am Satvik Prabhu.
And we are so glad and enlightened to present you on the topic from a very exciting field of indirect taxation. We will be presenting an exciting area of GST audits that is happening in our country. However, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be doing it so with a slight unique twist. We shall be presenting a play that will shed more light on the topic in order to keep you all engaged. We are extremely grateful to the organizers for helping us perform this event. And our humble goal is that by the end of this play, you all would have left this auditorium having learned something new. Something that we don't usually get to experience in our day-to-day life. We promise you, this is going to be a roller coaster of fun and learning. Now, before we jump into the play, we need to set the background. Could we have the slider, please? Now, before we jump into the play, we need to set the background. You all must need to know certain provisions of the GST Act before you can watch the play. Section 65 of the GST Act empowers the commissioner and any officer authorized by him to undertake an audit of any registered person for a specific period. The registered person shall be informed of the audit that will be conducted on him by way of a notice. The Rule 101 states that the notice shall be provided in ADT 1. Now, the officer can request for examinations of the books of accounts of the registered person. The registered person is also required to provide his responses whenever the officer has any queries or observations in his regard. Full cooperation and assistance is expected of the registered person in this regard. Thank you. All right. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah, so full cooperation and assistance is necessary from the registered person. The officer, within 30 days from the conclusion of audit, shall issue the audit report to the registered person in Form ADT2. Now, the key point here to be noted, ladies and gentlemen, that the notice to issue will be done in ADT1 and the GST audit report will be issued in ADT2.
So today we are going to discuss about resident welfare associations. Many of you here might be living in gated communities, apartments, housing societies. Am I right? Okay. So many of these associations, there are associations that run these gated societies, housing societies, apartments, etc. These associations do not have any income of their own. They do not have any major income on their own. So they need to run the day-to-day expenses of the association.
Sorry to disturb you, Savik. Just closer to your mic. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these associations collect maintenance charges from the members for the upkeep of the association and its day-to-day expenses. So essentially, an association merely acts as a pass-through or a mediator between the members and the suppliers. It collects expenses and provides the same to the suppliers. So ideally, there shouldn't be any supply under GST. As you all might be aware, that GST is levied on supply. However, under GST, both the Resident Welfare Association and the members are deemed to be two separate persons, and the supply between them is deemed to be supply under GST, as per Section 71AA. However, the same supply has been provided with an exemption. That is entry number 77 of Exemption Notification 12/2017 CTR. In entry number 77, the entry exempts services provided by an unincorporated body or a non-profit entity, that is a resident welfare association, that is provided to its members by way of reimbursement of charges for the common use of members. So basically, the association procures services and goods for the common use of members, and such services are exempted up to an amount of 7,500 per month per member. It is important to note that the services received only for the common use of members is exempt under this entry. That is, if I am procuring services, I being the association, procure service from someone and provide it specifically to one or two flats, it wouldn't be covered under this entry, because this entry only covers services for the common use of members. I hope that is clear.
Well, thank you for that, Sadhvik. Now let us set the stage. I will be acting as a commissioner of the GST department of Karnataka. I know, I'm all powerful, but do not worry. I'll be working under the ambit of law. And my friend here, Sadhvik, would be the representative of NAVAYUGA Resident Welfare Association. I have decided to conduct a GST audit as per Section 65 on NAVAYUGA Resident Welfare Association. And I proceed forward to give him the ADT1 notice. And let the audit begin.
For sure. Good morning, sir. I've got all the documents required by you. Each and everything is there.
Wait. Who are you again?
Sir, I am Satvik, and I am representing NAVAYUGA Apartment Owners Association.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Keep your documents here. I will look into
sir,
it.
I would like to emphasize that we being an association are law-abiding, and we have not done anything against law.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Let me come back to you after a while.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Seems like they have missed a lot of points. Time to call back Mr. Sadvik for the next hearing.
I hope this person doesn't create an issue. Good evening, sir.
Very early you came? This is how you make an officer keep waiting?
Sir, I was actually waiting outside your office from the past 3 hours, sir.
Yeah, whatever. So, let me move on with my observations. I have to discuss 3 major findings with you, Sadvik. So, I begin with my first one. So, I noticed that your association has been collecting maintenance fees in excess of rupees 7,500. But you have not paid taxes on the same. Why so?
Sir, as per as my understanding goes, we have rightfully claimed the exemption provided under the notification. As I had earlier said, we have not done anything against law.
Sir, may I remind you that the GST authorities have already issued a circular on this, clarifying the exemption limit in this regard. The circular clearly states that the exemption on GST on maintenance charges charged by a resident welfare association from its members is available only and only if the charges do not exceed rupees 7,500. That is, if it exceeds rupees 7,500, then the entire amount becomes taxable. You can read it.
Sir, first of all, sir, I beg to differ. There's no point bringing in the circular. Because as you may be aware, circulars are only binding on the department and not on the SSC. If an SSC wants to go against the circular, he can do so if the circular is not in line with law. We believe that the circular is not in line with law. Sir, I would...
And why do you say that the circular is not in line with law?
Sir, the circular uses the word up to 7,500. So for example, if I'm collecting from a member 10,000 rupees per month, if I'm collecting, then up to means that I have to claim exemption up to 7,500 and GST is leviable only on 2,500 and not the entire amount. Sir, I would also like to show you your own notification 12/2017, wherein there is another entry, that is entry number 78. In entry number 78, you are exempting services provided by an artist where consideration is not more than 1,50,000. Here, your intention is very clear that you want to tax the entire amount.
All right, Sadvik, that's enough.
Sir, it's not over, sir. Sir, as in the notification, you have used 2 different words. You have used up to as well and not more than. And it indicates that the intention of the lawmaker was to provide different interpretations for both the usage of these wordings. The same has been held in the case of Greenwood Association.
All right.
Sir, wait, sir. Sir, in section 11 of the CGST Act, there is an explanation which provides that an absolute exemption has to be claimed mandatorily. So if there is an absolute exemption that is available to us in this case, it has to be claimed mandatorily and there is no choice. Tomorrow, if I charge GST on this, on the entire amount, you may say that you had no authority to collect tax and you would say that you would ask me to pay penalties and all these things. Sir, I did not want to get into this. Our association did not want this. That is why we wanted to be on the safer side. We've gone as per law. Another thing I would want to tell you is that there was no ambiguity in the notification. Ambiguity was brought in by the circular and the circular is not binding on us, sir.
Okay, you talk all about being on the safer side, but let's be honest here, Mr. Sadvik. We do not have enough time. I barely have 4 minutes here. I gotta go. I have a lot of work here. I quickly move on to my next point. So, I have seen that your association has collected sinking funds from its members. Now we know that the collection of sinking funds is for the procurement of services for the common use of its members. Now the time of supply is when it is at the time of advance as per section 32 of the GST Act. And we also know that the collections are attributable to a specific purpose which is in the nature of advances. Therefore, there should be taxability on the sinking funds collection.
No, sir. I again beg to differ. Sir, whatever we are collecting from the members is in the nature of deposits. We are collecting it and tomorrow the member may ask for a refund of it, or we may also provide a refund of it. Even if the deposit is attributable to a specific purpose, the deposit we are collecting, it may be for the building expenditure after 3 or 4 years. Even if it is attributable to a specific supply, we are not applying it as a consideration. I would like to emphasize on Section 2, Clause 31 of the CGST Act, which talks about the definition of consideration. In Section 2, Clause 31, it is clearly mentioned that in case of a refundable deposit, it would be treated as a consideration only when it is applied as a consideration. In our case, even you can look at our books of accounts, we have provided it to you. We have mentioned the sinking funds as deposits and not advances. And therefore, there's no question of time of supply.
Okay, all right, Satvik. Thank you for that. But again, tick, no time here. We got to move on. I'm not here to listen to all your gyan here. So I move on to my next observation. I see that the electricity charges and the water charges have been collected in fixed amounts from your members. Now, your association is not involved in the supply of electrical energy to your members. Rather, it is involved in the service of upkeep and maintenance of the common utilities, where electrical energy being consumed as an input. Now, therefore, the electrical bill that is being provided to all the members is not a consideration for the supply of electrical energy. Rather, it is for the value is part of the consideration for the supply of services and therefore taxable. The same concept would include for water charges, and therefore you would have to include it in your exemption limit.
Sir, it is very simple, sir. I'll give you just an example. We have two kinds of connections, metered connection and non-metered connections. For our flats, we have metered connection. For each flat, we have a meter which tracks the electricity consumption and the water consumption. So whatever we are charging members is for the specifically. We are charging members specifically for this flat, this much, this flat, this much as per the actual consumption. And as highlighted earlier, it is not for the common use of members. And only common use of members would come under the notification that you also might be aware, sir. So since it is not for the common use of members, we need not include it. And as you might be aware, water and electricity charges are exempt from the levy of GST. And therefore, we are not charging any GST on the same. When it comes to non-metered connection, we have swimming pool, we have lift. And in all these places, we also have a meter. But we cannot actually know what the people are actually consuming.
You have 30 seconds, Satvik, if you want to conclude. Because I got to go now. I don't have time.
Sir, again, as I had told in the beginning, we are law-abiding, sir. And I'm trying to put out the points that I had in mind. And I have come
Who
here
else?
3 years, sir.
No one will say that they are not law-abiding, Mr. Satvik. Anyways, I'm not convinced about the last point. I will get back to you. I will provide you the audit report very soon. Thank you for coming.
So what happened was the auditor did not accept with the third point specifically, and he issued an audit report in the form of ADT 02. And then the association replied to the audit report, but the auditor, without even without even reading the audit report, issued a show cause notice demanding so and so tax. What happens is some of the officers do not understand law in its true spirit. As a result of this, many innocent businessmen suffer. And it is at this time that professionals like me and you, with the power of interpretation of law, need to help these businessmen come out of these complex tax issues. This was a small effort from our side to represent what happens in real life, while making a right balance between what happens in real life and what could be presented in a presentation. I hope you liked it. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Dhanyawadu Galu, and goodbye.
I think this is the second amazing presentation by this audit officer and the Satvik, the representative of association. Very important, I think Satvik has brought out that more technical submissions in the ADT reply itself will dissolve your proceedings. It will not go to further adjudication proceedings. So I think very important is whenever the audit has been taken place by the tax authorities, I think very important is the submission has to be made based on technical grounds and other compliances. So that is one thing, and it's a wonderful presentation. Thank you, both of you. Thank you. And I think we call the third team. Yes.
Thank you, Satvik and Arman. Now we call upon Tarak and Shriya to present the third case. Please give a big round of applause for our third presenters.
This is a disclaimer. Okay? This following case is just purely fictional and doesn't have to do anything with real persons, real cases. Trust me, we are not fortune tellers to explain your case. And this is for learning and not litigation. So no lawsuits, please. We are already overdone on our budgets for our disclaimer. Okay, with your permission, can I just make a call? Quick call. Sure. Hello.
Hello, Shreya. Good morning.
Bad morning, actually.
Why a bad morning? You had upma for breakfast.
No, worse. I woke up this morning to get a notice from GST claiming I've been penalized for 1 lakh rupees. Can you even believe that?
1 lakh?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm getting a heart attack. Someone call 108. So, guys, do you think this is fair? For a minor clerical error, does this business have to face such 1 lakh penalty? Is the GST law so hard on this business and so complex for them to understand? Well, let's see.
It might sound as bizarre and confusing as it is, but let me take you into confidence that this is drawn from an actual case, and not that he getting heart attack, but the person being penalized of rupees 1 lakh.
So, my name is K. Tarak and this is Shreya. So now we're going to do an enactment where I will play as the representative from the GST department, and Shreya here will do the appellant side. So to give you a brief, this is a consignment from the appellant side, which I have stopped because it has been intercepted.
Respected sir, I believe that you have sent a notice to us. The appellant, Threats Private Limited, has received a notice on 14/3/2024 for under section 129 in MOV 01, telling he has contravened the section of 129. May I know the specific grounds on which he has been penalized?
First of all, Ms. Shreya, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, I'm dealing with a lot of cases right now, so I don't think I'm remembering your case. Can you give a brief of your case, the facts and why you were penalized?
Sure, sir. Well, you have so many cases, I'll brief mine. To all of you as well, the Threats Private Limited, that is my appellant, is operating in wholesale goods. He was supposed to transfer, that is deliver, goods from Narayanpet, that is in Telangana, to Rajasthan. But the goods, you can see the lorry here, the goods carrier having those goods were put in a lorry and they were transported. It had e-way bill. Let me remind you, it had e-way bill, invoice number 276 and e-way bill 01. However, this lorry was intercepted at Karnataka, Ramsamudra, I don't know for what reason, telling it had unintended change in direction. I would clearly want to state that there was no change in direction.
So let me put you through the provisions of the GST law here. Clubbing section 68 and rule 138, if a consignment, which you can see here actually, exceeds the value 50,000, I don't know why these chocolates are costly, but the e-way bill is to be issued and a supporting document for them are to be issued as well. And they have been penalized under section 129, which clearly states if you contravene anything under e-way bill law, you shall be penalized for 200% of the taxable value. And the MOV 7 has been issued to you for the same thing, because we understand this is a bill to ship to consignment where they have made a procedural lapse selecting the ship to address and the bill to address as the same. So this is a clear contravention on their part. So how do you explain it?
Let me stop you there, sir. Let me explain how it went. The goods were intercepted at the Ramchandra. The driver has clearly shown invoices, e-way bill, and other consignment details. And the only clerical mistake he has done is changing the bill to ship to be the same, which I find to be minor discrepancy and doesn't deserve a penalty of 200% of the tax payable.
However, I think since the GPS, let me show you. So, the goods were going from Narayanpet, Telangana to Hyderabad, Telangana, but in fact it should have gone to Rajasthan, right? It's a lot of distance if you can see there. So they should have updated this in part B of the e-way bill, which they have not, which I think is significant on their part. And this I do not consider in the eyes of GST department as a minor inconvenience.
Let me correct you there, sir. Right here, say you are viewing an e-way bill. E-way bill nowhere asks you to specify the route. It asks you to specify the details of the, as you can see, the details of the consignor, consignee, the description of the product. I don't see what else my appellant could have done to be more compliant with GST rules.
No, this is not acceptable. Definitely not. Even though it is not explicitly mentioned in Part B, that the transportation details and stuff, it is implicit that you have to do it. I mean, you're going from Hyderabad to Rajasthan, and you're not updating the route, telling, I don't know this, my client is innocent, I'm just a little kid. So this doesn't work.
So I respectfully deny this allegation of evasion of tax, first of all, by telling that there was no change in direction. I am clearly stating you the fact that e-way bill does not allow me to update the e-way bill when there is change in route. And prior to this, to be clear, there is no change in route, sir. From reaching point A to B on a sheet of paper is a straight line, but on a geographical location, I need not go in the same direction, sir.
I get the point. There might be a little misunderstanding on this side, but however, the mistake has been done and they should have been updated on the GST purview. But do you have any CBIC backings for the same to consider this as the minor inconvenience?
So, to counter that, CBIC has issued a circular 68/38, which clearly says that a recipient shall not be penalized under section 129, provided he has no intent to evade tax and he has the supporting documents, which we have clearly complied. We have invoice number 01 and e-way bill 276. I don't know what else could have been done.
She confidently told the CBSE clarification 64/38, but it is wrong. Because you're partially right, I agree with that. But when you're doing such significant change of route, you must intervene it with the Part B. And I don't think I see the same. And it also clearly mentioned, the CBSE clarification reiterates that it is important to provide perfect documents for the same. When there's a lot of different distance to be traveled with, you'll have enough time to do the things, and which hasn't been done on your part.
So I guess you didn't get my point. Point number 1, e-way bill does not have any space for me to correct there. Point number 2, I would like to quote the case of Agarwal Industries versus State of Andhra Pradesh, where the High Court ruled out that the person shall not be penalized under section 129, where there is minor irregularity or minor discrepancy, provided all other documents are safe and provided to us. All other documents, I have it. I'm showing it to you.
Sorry, Shreya, but I'm a little pessimistic here. I still think this is an evasion of tax because you're taking that legal liberty. Because there's a significant change of route, and you're telling I did not update, and giving some CBSE clarification on the same. Do you think you can provide me the invoices and e-way bill exactly generated?
So, please go to that. This is the e-way bill. I want audience to tell where is the place for me to say that there was change in the route. Have an observation. You can clearly say that you have the mode, that is the road, distance calculated, outward supply, and all other, except the point that he is stating. So I clearly say that we have complied with everything GST could ask for. And moreover, I would like to tell that my appellant...
Hold on. Can you show your goods are classified so that I get a confirmation whether this is not an actual evasion of tax?
Sir, I have the invoices for it. This is my invoice. These are not unidentified goods. I have my invoice. They're clearly telling you there was no evasion of tax or intent to malify.
I'm still pessimistic.
Why so, sir?
No, this doesn't seem like a case.
Aren't you ready to accept the mistake, or
No,
the ego is hurt?
The penalty part, it is done. And it cannot be changed. They have contravened the section, but the penalty might change, and I will come about it later. So, can you explain, how do I trust the business has not done it before? Because once you do a mistake, you'll probably do it again, right?
To this, I have a clear answer. My appellant has never ever contravened to the sections of the GST Act. Let me be clear, my appellant is unaware of the GST, not unaware, lacks sufficient awareness about the GST. And it is unintentional pressure on the businesses to comply. Businesses are supposed to run their business, not comply with the sections and provisions of the Act. We are there for it, and I clearly say that there has been no contravention even in the previous background, and this is still not a contravention. I still request you to revise the penalty and bring it to nominal, that is under section 125, which is 500 under CGST, 500 under SGST.
Is the summary available in this file?
You can have a look at it.
Yes.
And for the audience, I am again clearly stating that this, I have nowhere in the e-way bill to state the change in the route.
It's okay, we understand, right? You're not making a mistake. Okay, let me just clarify 3 things, all right? So guys, let me just give you a brief about the case. Their goods has been intervened under section 129 because they were changing the route and there was a clerical mistake. So if the appellant is opting for a minor penalty, so how do they do the same? So there's like 3 things to look at. First part, the clerical error. Did they do a clerical error? Yes. And the second part, was there an intention to evade taxes?
Clearly no.
Yes, I'm coming there. There was an invoice, there was an e-way bill, and there was a GPS tracker for me to look at the same. So there was no intention to evade taxes as well. But are they doing this again and again to make a fun out of GST department? Are there any discrepancies previously in this case? I don't think so. I just checked the file and it all looks good to me. So I can tell, now I will conclude by telling, you will not be penalized under section 129 amounting to 1 lakh, so don't get a heart attack. But you will be penalized under section 125, which will state the minor penalty of rupees 1,000, 500 rupees for the CGST and 500 rupees for the SGST. So let me quote some similar cases where this has happened for your reference. In the case of Trimoy aluminium product for the state of Tripura and Union of India, the consignor actually made a mistake, which the consignment has to travel for 1,470 kilometers, but instead he mentioned it as 470 kilometers. Just 1 digit, and it costed them big litigation. They had a penalty of almost a lot of amount. I cannot quantify the same, but it had a penalty which would have costed them the business. But it was treated as a minor penalty, and they had to pay only 1,000 rupees. And there was a similar case in MR Traders versus Assistant State Officer, where the address mentioned in invoice and address in e-way bill are different. Similarly, like the case here. And the same case has been settled for minor penalty. So I am giving you the relief. You can go under section 125, and as per para 5 of CBIC as quoted by Ms. Shriya, CBIC 64/38, correct?
Yes.
It mentions the list of minor penalty. However, the list is comprehensive. There can be other things. This is included in the list, and thus you will be penalized under section 1,000.
We humbly accept your penalization, sir.
Driver, you can take this consignment and go.
To conclude, this is a reminder to all of you that minor mistakes can cause you such litigation. So be careful while updating your e-way bills. That is it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Amazing presentation by both the aspiring chartered accountants. I think the major litigations in the GST law is on e-way bill. And we are pleading before the department to come out for a special amnesty scheme only to resolve the e-way bills. I think we are finding that there is a huge, I can say, huge cases around only on the procedural grounds, and department, this mobile squad officers or enforcement officers or investigating officers are extending their scope of power beyond their powers which are given under the investigation by questioning on the valuation aspects, by questioning on the classification aspects, and by questioning on various aspects which is not within the purview of Section 68. So I think we should know the law, especially in the case of e-way bill, because many times we have seen that taxpayers have ended up paying the taxes where they would have directly challenged the notice and that would have got dropped. So I think they have presented very well. And I will tell you the officer what he has given time. I don't think so any officers know this section 129, what the officers know. So I think we have to be very smart. And in most of the cases, it has been interacted with the transporters and not with the owners. So many of the information leaked out because of the miscommunications between the transporters and the officers. So these are all the practical challenges in this mobile cases, this e-way bill cases, and thank you both of you. And I request all the team members, please come here and just we'll have a one group photo with you so that it will be a cherished memory for me to be with the students and with the energetic. And I think we should give a big round of applause to all the 6 students. Now they are not the department officers or not their appellant, they all are the students of the CA, and I request you please come on the stage.
Thank you, everyone. Usually, moot court will happen everywhere, but in India, it is the first time we are stepping one head back and showing you the judicial representation. I think you guys enjoyed it. How's the Josh?
Now, it's time to select the best presenter for the first session. Here, we will have the QR code, so please do cast your vote for the one you think did the best. And results na naale validity session alli announce ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Now, I call upon Sharanya R. Bhatt, the Public Relations Officer of Sikasa Bengaluru, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Hello everyone, a very good afternoon. It's my very privilege to extend heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers and the presenters over here. First, I would like to thank CA.Annapurna ma'am for being here despite of your busy schedule. We extend our gratitude for guiding our presenters and the audience. Thank you for sharing your valuable knowledge with us. It was great and a truly wonderful experience. Request you to accept our token of gratitude. I would like to request Srinivas T. our past vice chairman of Bangalore branch of SIRC to present token of gratitude. Yeah, with a round of applause. Thank you, sir. I would like to also thank our presenters for their excellent contributions today. Your insightful presentations have deepened our understanding of the topics. We truly appreciate the time and the effort that you have put into preparing and sharing your expertise. Thank you one and all. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you.
With that, we officially bring the first session to a close.
Judicial representation ಆಯಿತು. Next step is representing yourself in the court.
The second technical session, moot court, focuses on this aspect.
ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ವಾದ ಪ್ರತಿವಾದ ಡಿಬೇಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆರ್ ಯು ಗೈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್? ಬಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ವೆರಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟೀ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಇದೆ. 5 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ರಿಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ 5 minutes. Signing off, this is Disha.
And this is Inchira.
Thank you all.